Hello, Anish.
Hey Hans, answer. Hello, answer.
Hi. Hello.
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 Oh, hello, guys.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, hi everyone.
We seem to be kind of short on any of the devs being here.
Yeah,
I hope they are well. Yesterday they couldn't be in the meeting for the office
mm-hmm.
hour, so
Yes.
maybe something urgent. I hope that that could be here with us today.
I just pinged another one of them in Slack. We'll see if we'll get any sort of response. Okay, Jonathan just replied and said he is traveling, but um, Gabriel should be here.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Sorry, I was late.
No
Oh,
problem.
Yeah, no problem.
yeah.
Better late than never, as they say.
Most of the people are away. Like Leonardo and Marco are have a few days off. Jonathan is traveling. He is at the DevOps Day in Amsterdam, and yeah, I didn't notice the calendar. Okay, let me find the agenda.
Could you share your screen with the agenda? I don't have access to that Google Doc.
Yeah, I'm opening it. Give me
Okay.
a second. Okay. Uh, this is it. So, today, 19th of actually, I could have copied this. Twenty 25 meeting 61. Okay. Let's put the official one. Mm, Who else is missing access? Okay, but I can copy. I think the few one that I see. Okay. Okay. Keith, I've seen. Oh, okay.
You can find my mail if you want in the 16 April.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I don't know if you
Okay.
need emails for us, but mine is my last name, Suderman at jhu.edu.
JDU.
JH is in hotel, Johns
Okay.
Hopkins University.
Okay. .com. Oh, we
Dot
also have
edu.
.oh. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, for me, yeah, anisvista053 is there at gmail.com.
At what? Sorry, was this right?
Gmail.com.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay. So, do you have anything for the agenda? Any topic you want to discuss?
I pasted a link in the chat, which is my reason for being here. I opened a draft pull request, and I just wanted some feedback from the CloudNativePG team on whether that is a viable road forward. And if I'm going about that the way I should be going about it. I'm a new Go programmer, so and new to the
Okay.
code base, obviously, so I'm still feeling my way around.
Allow reusing. Let me see that. Give me a. Okay, well, it will rename it. Yes. Okay. Okay, what's the use case for you?
For us, due to political and technical reasons, we have an application that runs on Kubernetes. We're using Postgres as the database. And users of the application want to actually be able to pause the application so they can tear down the cluster. It's running on GCP. So, to avoid billing costs when they're not using their cluster, they want to be able to tear it down and then relaunch it. We just migrated to the cloud native PG operator to manage Postgres, or we are looking at it. But our current workflow is when we relaunch the cluster, we just give Postgres its existing PG data directory, and it resumes from there. It's happy to reuse if it finds valid data in that PG data directory, it is happy to, continue with that. Whereas the operator seems to have an opinion that if that directory exists, it renames the directory and bootstraps a new database, which is not the behavior that we were looking for. And I linked to the issue in there. I've seen a couple of other people want the same, or have the same use case, that if a directory exists, just use it. So what I've done is I've added a new field to the, spec bootstrap initdb, reuse existing directory. So if that directory exists, it won't rename it, won't try and create a new one. And then the database just comes back up with any existing data. And as I said, we have done this in the past with just plain old Postgres. And Postgres itself is happy doing that. It seems to be an opinion of the operator that wants to rename
Yeah.
this directory.
If I understood your use case, this is probably a use case for the hibernation feature. Have you tried that? Because it will keep the
Yeah,
PVC alive and tear down the pods.
yeah.
Which,
We have tried that. And simply because of the way things start up and shut down, we find it to be really slow. It takes about 10 minutes for the cluster to hibernate, and about another 10 minutes or so for it to come out of hibernation. And again, for political reasons, like this is another group that is installing our application onto their Kubernetes clusters that they are then providing services to other people. So using hibernation or other, even, like a backup and a restore, we have investigated. And that involves other teams at other organizations and all sorts of, politics. And do they have the cycles to be able to implement this? Whereas if we can just do this in the operator itself, that eliminates a lot of the technical and political issues we would face with another solution. And looking at that issue, I think it's 4192. As I said, there's other people that seem to have, the same requirement. So I thought this might be something that
Which one was it? Maybe?
I
Was it
think it
linked?
is issue 4192. I mentioned it in my PR that it closes,
Okay.
I think 4192. So there should be a link in there. And this is a relatively minor change. It only required about half a dozen lines of code in 2 different files. So it's not like it's a major re-engineering of the way things work. And as I said, Postgres itself is happy to, reuse existing
Yeah, yeah.
data.
That thing, that thing I know, but the let's okay like reusing. Well, let's start with the initial rationale before even hibernation. It was like reusing data we didn't know where they came from. We didn't really like it. So, and then we still have hibernation that is sort of similar. So,
Yeah. Yeah, granted,
and
there's
I
probably not a lot of people that will have this use case, but it is a use case that's out there. As I said, since this is a relatively minor change, and it's not something, a lot of people are going to do, and I think I even have in the documentation, like don't use this unless you really know what you're doing and you really feel you need it.
yeah, that's also a good reason why it's an annotation
Yeah.
here. But yeah, I think with the rest of the development team, we can discuss it also. Most of them will be back next week. So,
Okay. Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm away at a conference next week. I might be able to jump on and plead my case again.
yeah, but I share the office with a lot of them. So I can plead it for you. I sort
Okay.
of
We can also,
understood.
excuse me, we can also put a few words in the document to have traces and the
Yeah.
history.
But also this meeting is recorded, so yeah. Let me also let's see. Okay. So the idea is that uh, think of in I will let I will let the summary at the end do my job for for me, I think, before writing everything immediately. But yeah. Okay. Um, I anything else from anyone else? Because I don't have anything on my side. This couple of weeks, I haven't been able to follow the Cloud Native PG project for other other work reasons. So
Don't worry.
That pesky work keeps getting in the way
yeah.
from preventing us from doing what we want to do. I have the same problems.
Okay. Anything else? Zid, Anshal?
Yeah, I do have a issue. Like I have a doubt. So I was working on this issue. I've just shared it in the chat.
Okay.
Well, I understood the issue, but we need to create a Prometheus exporter, right? So do we need an external external pod or external service to do that, or our controller should itself count it, like be the counter, or we should host on a specific port of the controller where the controller is running?
Oh, let me read it. Yes, this was
Yeah.
2000, 2024. Okay. Okay. I think, oh, here we have the guy that opened the issue. Hello, Gabriele.
Hello.
Hmm.
What happened?
Uh,
I
Anish brought this one to to our attention, to everyone's attention. Can you repeat what you were just saying, Anish?
That's not me, that's Ansel.
Oh, sorry,
Okay.
sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. So, like here, I understood the issue. We need to create a Prometheus exporter for, to count if like the auto.config metrics is there. So we need to integrate this with the existing controller and like export it to another a port, maybe 1990, which is the default port for Prometheus, something like that, or is it something different which we have to implement here?
no, I think this is to extend the existing Prometheus exporter,
Yeah,
okay, to also check the content of PostgreSQL AutoComp.
yeah.
Okay, like we.
Probably a, a new default query or a
Yeah, a
default
new query
default.
would be good enough because we already have that. We already have an exporter,
Yeah,
so
there
maybe
is
a
a
new metric may be good.
yeah. No need to create a
Yeah,
new exporter on another port.
yeah,
Just
sure.
Yeah, but I
Also,
was
I
thinking,
have.
okay, yes, sorry, Francis, you were thinking of actually doing the SQL query to check the source file of an option, right?
if I remember correctly, and from PG setting, you should be able to
Yeah,
get where they are defined.
yeah, exactly. PG settings, yes. No,
So
here I was thinking more when, for example, I mean, check the actual content of the file. So
oh
using Go, we've got the exporter in Go that could open that file and check. But I mean, that's you're right. I mean, the PG settings is probably easier.
yeah, I mean both are fine. And then maybe we could highlight something in the dashboard, but given that already having the autoconf should not be possible, I think it would not be really important on the dashboard. Just I don't know, Gabriele, what you were trying to achieve with this, like checking if there is something legacy, because this is
Yeah.
old.
So basically, the legacy stuff is okay, but also it could be that somebody enabled alter system temporarily and and they made some changes and then they disabled that. And so it could be that, you know, some changes have been made to the system.
Okay.
So that was primarily the reason. So that should always be empty, basically, in any cluster.
So a follow-up of this could also be like showing something red in the dashboard if the new metric is more than one, more than
Or
zero.
an alert. Yeah.
Okay.
So I shared in the chat the link to PG settings, so to that view. And yeah, so there's I think source is where we want to look at. If I remember, source file. Sorry,
Or source file.
file.
Could change between versions, but yeah, we still have source file in 13. Oh no, sorry, I haven't. Yes.
If you want,
So it's
I
fine.
can write a query in the issue if that helps, Anshal.
Yeah, sorry, can you repeat that?
If you want, I can update the issue.
Yeah, sure.
So sharing the SQL query or an example. Yeah, but I think when I created the ticket, I was primarily looking for a way to do it without accessing the Postgres database. So with the file system, basically. So open that, you know, file, check that it's empty, and then control that with Go. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'd rather. Yeah, I was thinking of having an hard-coded sort of you know metric rather than an SQL one. Yeah. So we do that, for example, to calculate to return the number of WAL files that are ready, that are done. So I was thinking of adding that to that part.
Hmm. Like you need a
I
Go,
missed before
like a
you,
Go script.
yeah, sorry, go ahead. You're thinking of contributing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So like you need a Go script, which can extract the contents from the file, right? Something like that.
Yeah, I think we are actually already, there's already a place in the operator that checks those files. So I was thinking while we check those files, we also and when they're modified, we recalculate that. I was thinking of calculating that in that location, basically, if possible. Although that would mean update the status, but I don't know.
I wouldn't put that in the status.
Yeah, is it the kind of
Yeah,
dependency?
exactly. I would avoid doing in the start. So I think that source code contains, functions that I think you can reuse. Now I don't know where it is exactly,
Yeah,
but if you
Like not here, but should be something around here. This is those are the walls. So
Yeah.
in the metric server, you may it may be the place to go if you don't want to write a default query.
Understood. Like I'll just create a simple PR first, which like the PG collector would have the increment or the counter for the autoconf uh, configuration, something like that, and maybe later we can
Yeah, no,
see what we.
not incremental. It's a gauge, but still, that's the
Yeah, oh,
idea.
sorry, gauge. Yeah, sorry, it's a gauge. I forgot.
I think the file where we mangle the Postgres AutoConf is package PKG management Postgres configuration. So if you PK, Postgres management Postgres, it's Postgres configuration go. Yeah. So here there are some. And I'm sure there's a function that basically checks what is inside the .conf file. And I think there was something, but
I don't remember anymore. Well,
yeah,
here we are
there's
reading
read
it.
lines from configuration content. That seems like
Okay. If it's moving them in the override, if they didn't exist, okay. But yeah, somewhere between here and the matrix would be the place to go.
Good afternoon. Can I
Yeah.
Oh, hello.
discuss something else with you, but when you're ready?
Yeah, go ahead. I think
So
this.
I raised this issue in the dev meeting, I think, a month ago, and I've been investigating solutions in the background. So with the new extension management, I mean, technically before it as well, but with the new extension management, there is a possibility when you have an extension that's not backwards compatible in terms of function signatures, calling any function before you run outer extension could cause a crash, right? Just because the schema no longer matches the function definition. And this is generally always a problem. And from what I understood from several extension authors, including a conversation with David Wheeler, there isn't always a solution. So sometimes you just have to isolate database servers until you run outer extension. And then, like usually, you'd firewall them. You add the new extension, you run outer extension, and then you remove the firewall so they can accept connections. So in the case of CloudNativePG, now that we have extension management, when you upgrade the Docker image, right, this means that this now we start like a rolling upgrade. So the first replica upgrades the new Docker image, second replica, then we get a switch over, and then only after that we can run outer extension. Now, if in certain circumstances with a big database, each of these, like one replica getting the update, then a second one, that's about 10 minutes. And this causes a problem because for those 10 minutes, those replicas are running the new Docker version, like the new Docker image, but they still haven't received outer extension update because this can only happen on the primary, which hasn't been updated yet. And any function calls on functions with a changed signature before the extension schema has been updated would cause a crash. And any query with those function calls would crash a replica, which then would prevent a switchover. And this means that the cluster could become stuck. And I investigated possible solutions for it, and I thought of one. What if we use, the readiness probe and add a check there to if the extension version, basically if the extension has been updated. Now, this would allow us to isolate servers from, replicas from services until they have been upgraded, so they become inaccessible. And I had a conversation yesterday with Leonardo, and because I think he was the author of the new probes.
Yeah, they're
And
not promoted.
say
If
that
they're
again.
not ready, then if they're not ready, they will not be promoted.
Yes, that's the problem though. If you enhance the probes to do that, then they won't get promoted. My original solution was just to enhance the query probe to give it a custom query, but I don't think that would help. And I'm looking for an alternative solution.
Yeah, I think, yeah. Hmm. Even with the new approach of extensions and extension images, you could have the same problem. It should take less time to do the rollout, but you still have the same problem. But I mean, what error do you get? I mean, it should. What I mean, do you have examples of extensions that actually break the server, and basically the server cannot resume?
Yeah. So some extensions that change a lot of
The
stuff.
shared library, you mean? The
Shared library,
yeah,
yes.
shared preload library. Okay, those extensions. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because
A-
most
And
extensions would keep using the previous functions until you run
you run out outer
alter.
extension.
So
I
it's
saw that
that.
there is some support in Postgres 18 for like helping this process, but I mean nobody has done it yet, and it would take a while.
Yeah, I mean, with immutable systems, that's not easy to do. And even if I think we disable the even if we disable the connections to the standbys, it could be that when you restart and you have shared preload libraries, the server crashes anyway, even without access. But that's why that I think is covered by the fact that you need to test the upgrade first. Yeah, I don't think there's a I mean, it needs to be addressed case by case, in my opinion, because this would happen even with fat images, this problem.
So, for example, if we have, so in our case, we had queries in the metrics that would trigger a crash. So I used the predicate query to check if the extension version matches the one in the Docker image and prevent the metrics query from running any extension-specific functions. And that solved it, but that doesn't solve it for user queries. So that and for user queries, I just need to isolate the whole system from accepting connections.
So if you
And
actually look, oh, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, I'm just looking for possible solutions. And if it does require, like, you said that it might require like a case by case solution, but we don't have like an API to create a case by case solution.
Yeah.
And if we can come up with some idea on how to do that, I'm interested in pursuing it further.
No, definitely. I mean, this is something we need to think about. I'm just because I mean the if you look at the issue I created for 127, there's an exchange between myself and David. David is an expert on extensions, as you know. So the issue is that Postgres is not able to have two versions of the same extension.
Can you tell me the issue number?
So if you go in the roadmap, or you dynamic loading of Postgres extensions here.
7188, thank you.
So I was suggesting to specify multiple versions of an image, of an extension. Okay, in a
But because it's a
catalog.
shared preload library, you can just reload
Exactly.
it.
So see, I removed all of that based on what David suggested. Because at the end of the day, Postgres cannot manage multiple versions, you know. So, and I don't think we can fix the problem. I mean, if even if we added two versions, once we do the update, the old one might crash. So you still need to do this. Otherwise, we probably have. I mean, the other thing is we should probably shut down the. I mean, do it from the primary first.
So
I don't know.
Doing it from the primary first is one option. The other thing is running outer extension as soon as possible, which is why I switched to the managed extensions, because from what I can see, it is done faster than if I can do it externally. So the window where you can call a function that crashes the primary is slower, but that still leaves the standbys in this vulnerable state.
Yeah, I think, I mean, the good and good and bad thing is that this is territory where nobody's ever been before, you know, and the idea is to actually try and improve Postgres as well. And that's what I believe David can bring a lot here, you know. with this experience. So this is, I think, a problem not just for CloudNativePG, but I suspect that it's a problem with all the other operators with fat images, you know. That's the same. Yeah, I think so, because
would it be possible to create for example, a separate interface for ready probes and for probes that the operator itself uses for internal promotion. So basically, the operator shouldn't use the ready probes, and we only use the ready probes for services. Because this would allow me to use the ready probes to exclude unupgraded instances.
Yeah, no, I think we need to think more about this. Definitely, if it crashes, it's not ready. So
And the problem is that almost nobody is running vanilla Postgres. So there's always extensions involved, whether that's timescale, PG vector, in my case, ParadeDB. But everyone is running something to get specific, applications for their workload, and yeah, and they are going to get to if it's an extension with shared preload library, this risk exists.
Anyway, I think let me try that. If you update the replica and it fails, okay, you update the second replica and it fails because of that. But then if you actually you cannot proceed because the upgrade fails.
No, but the problem is because you upgrade the Docker image,
The
server boots up just fine. It would only
Yes,
crash
and
if you
after a
call a
while.
function with a changed signature. And the way to stop that is not call those functions, like
the other
prevent
thing
connections
is,
to the server.
Yeah. Until someone has run an alter extension.
Yes. And the problem is you can only run outer extension on the primary.
Yeah.
So it takes a while.
What if we could disable, have you tried to disable connections to a database?
How though? How can I do it in a programmatic way? Specifically during this upgrade.
I mean, what you can do, oh, now that applies also to the primary. Yep. No, you basically, if you do that, and the operator doesn't know if you are upgrading, if you're doing a rollout because an extension changes or not, you know. So that's the other thing.
If we're doing the new extension management, it could know.
Yes, if we do the
no, because it wouldn't really know, because the upgrades for images and extensions, they're separate. Like it doesn't know that this is an upgrade of an extension.
Francesco, do you mind sharing the documentation of the database interface, the extension? I think we put version, if I remember correctly.
We have version, but remember, this is coming from the Docker image, not from there. And each Docker image only has the one version.
But I
there
think
is a
what we are
version.
also
I'm using that.
Yeah, we need to basically link the extension in the database with the extension that will be part of the extension management of the cluster. So theoretically, what we could do is if you say that the database has version X of the extension, but the extension of the cluster has X plus 1, okay, we know that you still don't have your database has a version that is lower than what you have been asking to install. But theoretically, we should enable the same, I mean, to perform the upgrade at the same time, if you specify the version, the new version also in the database. I don't know if you're following me, but
how would the operator detect that?
yeah, and the operator knows that the database has an older version. Okay. So actually,
Because
what we could do, even the standby knows that the version that you have deployed at that point differs from the version that is running in the database. And I think actually we do have a metric, Francesco, that says if you have an updated version.
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
I think, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah.
Francesco himself wrote that.
Yes.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
I wrote
exactly.
also the. That's.
I was looking at Francesco in the office.
Yeah. But it's as a metric.
Yeah, but nonetheless, I think we could blah, 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 blah. I mean, we cannot disable access to the database, I think.
And
We can
and
or
also,
cannot.
Well, we could, but I don't think we can.
Also, in most cases, I mean, in extensions, it would be it is a bad practice to change signatures. Like,
Hang on. What if when we do a rollout, we change pghpa.conf to reject any connection that doesn't come from Postgres or streaming temporarily until the rollout completes?
So Francesco, well, it's a bad idea to change the signatures. There are two reasons
Yeah.
why companies do that. It's just technically, like extremely technically difficult to maintain the older version, or
Yeah.
they don't have the personnel to maintain eternal backwards compatibility. I think this is why people don't do that. Sometimes there's some extensions that do, and
I sort of remember it being documented somewhere, but maybe not in here. Yeah, we
but
could block
Gabriele,
connections. Yeah. Sorry,
is your
go ahead.
suggestion basically using an automated mechanism to detect on the standbys that the extension version now differs and lock them out from the inside using some kind of PGHBA configuration?
Yeah. That's what I was thinking of.
If this is exported as some sort of a configuration option, so you can enable it and disable it if you don't need it.
Or what we could do is, if we know that that extension might create problems, it's something that it's at the extension level. So for example, when we work on catalogs, or when you deploy an extension in your cluster, we could add an option that says, I don't know, disable on replicas if not aligned or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. And ideally, this information should be in the catalog. So if the new way of shipping extensions will be through the catalog, we know at that point that actually the owner of that extension knows that this is a requirement, because they don't guarantee backward compatibility or something like that. It's not guaranteed. And that could be done that way, basically. This could be, I think, I don't know if it works, but definitely could be a way to handle these automatically. So if there's a divergence between what is on the system and what is in the database, we basically disable access to the database, except for Postgres. So we should disable metrics as well at that point, because metrics access through a different role.
Yeah.
So
How would
That's not
people?
necessarily required, because metrics don't usually impact, like the default metrics don't do any extension specific stuff. And if you have a custom metric that uses the like extension specific functions, you can use the predicate query to achieve the same thing. Basically, with the predicate query, you can check whether the version matches or not. And I've done that already. So
okay.
you don't need to disable metrics. In fact, metrics are super valuable during these transitions. So you still have some recorded observations during the transition. So I don't think we should disable metrics.
Okay.
They're super valuable.
No, I thought you said that there are some metrics that cause that issue, basically.
Yeah, but I solved that with a predicate query.
Okay.
I mean, how would people know that the extensions they are about to upgrade is likely to cause issues?
That's
And put that in the catalog.
Alternatively, what we can do is that this is the default behavior, and if you don't want to trigger that, you add an option to the extension.
I don't think this should be the default behavior, because then, I mean, even like most extensions don't regularly change their function signatures. So chances are 90% of an upgrade, even of such an extension, wouldn't cause a problem. But occasionally one of these upgrades would. So you don't want to disable read-only queries of the whole cluster just because it could happen. So the default should be to enable this feature, not to have it always enabled. Like, sorry, the default should be disabled and only enable it if you need it, if you know that this is a problem and you want to have the extra safety guarantee at the expense of decreased capacity during transitions.
Is there a way? I mean, there are the upgrade paths in with extensions. If we could add something in the SQL file that does the upgrade, then we can detect, and then surface, so that could be automated. If, for example, we see that there's a change or an altered function or something like that, or a drop.
Yeah, but this can only wait. So you would be able to detect it even on a standby replica. The only question is then, I mean, you can't run it. Is it possible to actually run it on the standby somehow?
No,
Even because
no, they're read only. I mean, the standbys are read only. So any transaction like that will fail. But we should ask David. I think David, see, these are the old version, target version. So these are the upgrade paths. And I don't know. We should involve David in this, but this is definitely a problem. Thanks for raising it, Itai. I think if you can update that issue, that would be great with your thoughts, so that I mean we get these we get more involvement from the community, and that's kind of an aggregator of knowledge. But this problem, I think, it's always existed, even with other operators. It's funny that it's.
The problem is that it could run, like, there is this path where it can cause very serious cluster failure. And this is if the users are running queries that continuously crash the replicas, and replicas don't get promoted, outer extension never gets run. The primary will remain available, but will never promote. And it's and the user can't do anything, right?
No, the other thing would be, once we have upgraded the standbys, we just do the in-place restart, but that's something we wanted to remove, actually.
Why?
No, we can't do the because the pod needs to change the image. So, yeah. No, because it's complex to manage from the operator standpoint. It's kind of an exception. So we wanted to revert to the rollout for pretty much everything.
Okay.
It's just that, it's technical debt. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, thanks, Itai. Now, this is definitely something we need to fix. And I think it's good time. It's coming now. So just to be clear, we were thinking of splitting that patch of extensions into kind of phases. You see that there's a discussion that I had with David about manifest. The catalogs. So the idea is that we do it first without the catalog, and then we also add the catalog part of extension, because at the end of the day, the catalog will redefine the default. But if you want, you can always override with if you go with can you go to the ticket, Francesco, please? Which one was that? So just to explain, so that we finish these.
It was.
Yeah. So if you scroll
718,
down, so the idea is to start. If you go up, please, at the start. So it's to start with the first one. So you specify the image there inside the cluster. Okay, so this is a way to add an extension, an image extension to a cluster. Okay. Then if you scroll down, there's also the catalog one. Okay, so the idea is that you have an image catalog, you add the extensions that you provide as a repository or as a catalog. That could be from different repositories. And you see that the cluster below, you just specify the extension. So in that case,
like
you specify PG vector, and it gets the one in the catalog. But if you want, you can override using the previous syntax. So because of that, what we could do right now is just start with the first one. So I have already something that we can test, and then the second step will be to add the image catalog one, which defines the default, let's say default value for an extension, for a managed extension. Yeah. So, but this is
Do you want to maintain both?
Yes.
Mm. Okay.
Like now, yes. So why you don't think it makes sense?
Oh, no. I was just surprised. I thought this was either this one or this one, but you want to do both.
Yeah. The idea is to like, we have image name.
Yes, so sort of like image name, have it both ways.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hypothetically, the current way that image name works, do you not wanna at some point deprecate that for a method like image catalog, which is sturdier, gives you more options?
I think, don't we already do it with image catalogs, Francesco? We don't check that the image name is called in a certain way with the image catalog, right?
No, we don't. That was the exact reason for image catalog, allowing people to define their images. We just need to know what the measure is.
So, which is why the first option is not as future-proof as the second one. So I'm not sure it's really worth supporting that. Especially now that you're adding this whole new API for image extensions.
Yeah, but if we don't, there's people that will never use the image catalog. So we need to provide, I think, the image catalog. Sorry, the first option, no image catalog involved version, until we deprecate the image name. Yeah. So either we go with the image catalog every time.
It would accelerate the process of people switching to image catalog.
Yeah, I mean, if we give them the options only there, why there are people that would never use image catalog? What?
Yeah, because it's not complicated to set up and gives you more options. And if you, for example, you distribute already, right, a default image catalog with the official CNPG images, and if this was extended to include official versions of extensions, that's even better, right? So,
yeah, no, I think the idea is to first, you see the changes we've done with the way we build images. So we still have what we call system or legacy way with where we ship also Barman Cloud. So I think the first step is to move away from the Barman Cloud images and also have the volume snapshot plugins. So once we have volume snapshot plugins, and Barman Cloud is definitely deprecated, so it's not anymore in the main image. At that point, we can focus on the base images of Postgres, which are already benefiting. We see customers of EDB, they're really already happy because their CVEs are, and basically they don't need to change the image of Postgres every month or every 2 weeks because of CVEs brought by other dependencies. Okay, they actually say that they only change the image of Postgres only when there's a new minor version of Postgres, which is great. Okay, so I think once we have stabilized all the image production build process, then we can build based also on these, the image catalogs. The image catalogs right now are built within the Postgres containers repository. What we actually need to do is to have another repository that contains all the image catalogs that are built from a collection of repositories. So it could be that not necessarily CloudNativePG builds the images. Okay, but CloudNativePG selects the official PG vector image extension because that's the way it should be. And we add the official, PG vector extension in the catalog. So there should be a different repository, a different project that contains the image catalogs that every day or every week pulls images from known sources and updates the catalog. And we rely to that. At that point, when all of this mechanism works, we can think of deprecating the image name option. That's what I'm thinking. But we're on the right track, but I don't think we're there yet. And so that could be, for example, something for version 2 of the API, which is still something that it's kind of aspirational, but one day we will get there,
Yeah.
But
Okay.
then, yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I would just live with image catalogs.
But it's still, if we're adding this extension support, it's worth considering only doing it with image catalogs, because in a way it would accelerate the process of people switching to image catalog only. If you don't if you don't feel super strongly about providing it also in the cluster spec, and the code base would be simpler.
Yeah, we've also already had an issue with the measure upgrades with images and catalogs involved. So I think it's worth discussing going only one way, but
yeah, no, we need to give time, but at the moment we don't have clarity. There's also the difficulty that we're trying to work on multiple fronts at this time, and we need to remove technical debt in several areas. But I'm very happy with the direction we've taken with the plugins. I mean, the plugins have been a huge investment, but it's starting to pay off. So anyway, I think, yeah, we're 15 minutes beyond the.
Well, thank you guys for your time and for the feedback. I will add to that ticket, and yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you. Bye. Bye, everyone.